Thank you for coming. So my talks are very different. I like to do very practical tips. So I really like that movie, The Secret, where people think about it and dream about it, and then a check for 10 grand just shows up at your door. I like the concept of that, except I like to talk about the things that take place in order to get that check for 10,000. Is that good with everybody? All right. So over the last year, I've spent over $60 million on Instagram influencer posts. So what that means is I take money from brands, Postmates, DraftKings, Lyft, all the female fashion brands and hair vitamins and things that you see on social media, and I pay social media influencers to post about products to kind of help fast forward their businesses for them. The reason for that is social media has overwhelmingly taken over our society. In every country around the world, there's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all these different platforms. But what's interesting for you guys, myself, and everybody around the world is every one of those platforms is free. It costs you nothing. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and all these other social media platforms are free. And what happens is it sounds really overwhelming because you think you have to create content for every single different platform individually when you don't. What you can do is create social media for one platform and then repurpose that content, meaning take that same video or that same photo and then put that on the other social media platforms. By doing that, it's called embedding yourself into the internet. Embedding yourself into the internet is important because everybody that you interact with and people that are looking for something in your category, whether you do fitness or real estate, beauty, makeup, insurance, whatever business you're in, people are Googling you. And by embedding yourself into the internet, your screen name and the things that you post is what the internet grabs and brings to the top of Google searches. So Google is the #1 search engine in the world, which happens to own YouTube, which is the #2 search engine in the world. So by creating videos for YouTube about your specific industry or business for free and uploading that to YouTube, you can embed yourself in the internet, and now Google, which owns YouTube, is more favorable to pull up your content to the top. Now, I don't want that to sound overwhelming. The way you create YouTube videos, the same way you create Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram videos. You pick a Sunday or Saturday, and you block out 4 hours, and you only have to do this one time. And you think about all the key terms and key words in your category. So let's say you're in the real estate space. You're already going to go show a house this Saturday at 12 p.m., for example. Show up there at 11:45 a.m. and film outside of the home different tips and tricks about what people could do to upgrade their home. Think about this for a second. You're already going to go there at 12 p.m. If you're in the fitness space and you're already going to work out on Saturday at 12 p.m., you create some fitness videos at 12 p.m. If you're in the beauty space and you're already going to do hair and makeup at Saturday at 12 p.m., you just now are more cognizant. You're thinking about it more and create that content. And during those 4 hours, you take every single keyword and you film about that. Now, why does the keyword matter? The keyword matters is because Google owns YouTube, and when people search on Google and YouTube, they're searching for keywords and terms. So if you're in the real estate space, people search the word short sale, or VA loan, or home loan, or refinancing. You're going to make a video about each one of those terms. If you're in the beauty space, you do a video for hair and eyelashes and makeup and eyeliner and prom night, wedding night, and you take all these different keywords, and now what happens is when anybody searches that, it could be now or 5 years from now, your video is more inclined to come to the top because it's the actual words that people are searching for. This applies to any category that you're in. The next thing I say is under-promise and over-deliver. What I mean by that is, in all relationships, whether it's in sales, whether it's your husband and wife, whether it's you and your children, your staff, all relationships, the biggest problem, biggest frustration is communication. If I tell my wife I'm going to be home at 6 o'clock and I get home at 6:22 p.m., I'm late. I'm in trouble, right? But if I said I'm going to be home at 6:30 p.m. and I get there at 6:22, I did good, right? I'm a good boy. So being clear with your communication. If you manufacture t-shirts or you make bracelets and necklaces and you make a special item and you know you can get it done by Friday, tell them that you're going to have it to them by Monday. What happens is, if it's Friday and something comes up, something happens with your child, something happens with your friend, you have to go and take care of something and you don't get it ready by Friday and it's not done until Friday night or Saturday, what happens to that person that you were supposed to give that bracelet or necklace to? They're mad, right? What if you told them Monday and you give it to them Saturday? You're a hero, right? People plan based on communication. People think based on communication, and you're really important to people. Everybody that I mentioned, your children, your significant other, your staff, the people you sell to, your clients, you are important to them. And because of that, you have power. And you can utilize that power and by spreading good and protect yourself by simply under-promising and over-delivering. Network equals your net worth. So you've heard of this a lot over the years, right? People say your network is your net worth. People say that the 5 people you surround yourself with is usually the average of income for you. What I say is, all those things are true, but it's up to you to make those things happen. Going to events like this, going to Own Talks, is a perfect example of making those things happen. You're putting yourself in a room to learn from amazing speakers like Cindy, Tom, and Sebastian, but also you're networking with people in the room that have already proven to you that they want to be better also. Everybody in the room has a career or wants a career. They have a job or they want a job. They're investing into things or they want to invest into things. They're already proven to you. The person sitting to your right or left could be your future business partner, friend, or ally. Going to events like this is critical. They're very affordable or free, but they put you in a separate mindset. They level you up. Right? It's okay to clap. Going to events like this levels you up mentally, emotionally, and while you're at events like this, you're inspiring other people that are following you, whether it's online or in real life. What I mean by that is, your friends, family, and coworkers, or your social media followers, or your crying children, they're all looking up to you. So when they see you going to events to better yourselves, it subconsciously makes them want to better themselves. The things that you do, the actions that you take, are what inspire the people around you, even if you don't know it. There's a lot of people that you just don't realize. You know when you argue with your sister and your brother for the last 20, 30 years? But they're secretly inspired by you. They may never tell you that, right? Your brother or sister is never going to tell you that they look up to you, but they do. Younger and older. When the younger brother or sister excels at school or is winning that basketball championship or doing something like that, their older brother or sister looks up to them. And vice versa, by nature, we look up to our older brothers and sisters. If either one of you goes to the Own Talks event, we're inspired by it. Because you're taking action to learn, to better yourself, and we just don't think about the fact that besides what we're doing for ourselves, we're impacting the people around us. Raise your hand if you want to impact the people around you. It's powerful. And all it takes is a little bit of energy. Now, if you do have social media, events like this are also perfect to take pictures and videos. Because the same way you're inspiring your friends, family, followers, brothers, and sisters, you can inspire the people on social media, even if you only have 212 followers. You don't realize what that can do for those 212 people. Over the last 5 years, I've angel invested into 32 companies that now have thousands of employees. I invest into these companies because I want them to hire more staff, and by them hiring more staff, they're taking care of more and more people, and they're impacting the world my way. If those 32 companies now have thousands of employees, and the average person has 3 to 4 family members, I think and I feel like I'm helping 5,000 to 10,000 people directly, who are then helping hundreds of thousands more. I believe by investing into startup companies, local restaurants, salons, spas, mobile apps, all different types of categories, I believe by them hiring people, there's a trickle-down effect that happens in every single community. Before I decide to take on a role or an advisory board position of a company, I go into Google, I look at social media, and I start searching everything. It's amazing how many things you can find, good and bad, about your competitors. But what's interesting is, let's say you wanted to open up a restaurant, and it was going to be a food truck. And the food truck space, you'd never heard of before, but you liked the idea. You walked by the Grand Hyatt Hotel or the Baha Mar, and you saw those food trucks out there. You're like, you know what? I want to have a food truck here one day. You go into Google, and you start typing in food trucks, and you start looking at all the different variations. You can write food truck business plan, food truck success, food truck failure, food truck revenue, food truck funding. You start adding in a keyword next to the thing that you want to research. And what happens is all this magical stuff comes up for free. You start to see press releases, websites, legal issues. All these amazing things start coming up, good and bad, because it's important for you to know both. It's really important for you to know the bad side of things too, so that you can help avoid it in advance. That's the whole advantage of learning from people like Tom and Cindy, who have sold their companies for over $1 billion each. Learning from people that can tell you the good and the bad is critical, because I tell every company that I invest in, I don't want to get a phone call when everything is good. Call me when it's bad. I can help you way more when it's bad. I'm not scared of bad. I'm not scared of messy. I don't have an ego to this. If a bird pooped right now, I'd clean it on the floor in front of you guys. I care about actions and people actually following through on things, and I'm not scared of the bad stuff at all, and you shouldn't be either. Because a lot of people are scared to say it, bad stuff is going to happen. Every bajillionaire out there, you see the owners of Facebook and Google and Yahoo and Tesla and all these companies, every single one of them has had major failures. All of them. When I first started my company, Who's Your Daddy, I trademarked the catchphrase for 300 products at 17 years old. By 19, I licensed it out for $9.5 million just in the UK. Over the next few years, I decided I was going to go public, and at 23, I took it public on the stock market. Sounds easy, but you don't hear about the 2 years and $2 million of legal work from 21 to 23 to go public. So then we go public, and for the next 4 years, I don't sleep. I got us into 55,000 retail stores in America before social media. Driving in a car, flying around, using pagers, and the first version of cell phones. Why do I tell you that? Because it takes hard work to build up companies. And there was a lot of failures along the way. So now we're in 55,000 retail stores, and Costco says, hey, guess what? We only carry 3 energy drinks at a time, and you've won Flavor of the Year for the last 2 years. We really want to take you, but we have Monster, Rockstar, and Red Bull. We can't take you. And every 6 months I'd hear that, and I'm like, look, I'm in 55,000 other stores. Like, you should really take us. This is going to be good for both of us. They said, we just can't drop one of them. And then finally my moment happens. They drop Rockstar from me. For only 43 stores, they ordered $2 million in products. Sounds great, right? Just got a $2 million order. What people don't tell you is, you now got to come up with $1 million to finance a $2 million order. What also they don't tell you is, retailers don't pay you for 30 to 60 days after they take delivery of products. Hold on, it's not done yet. So let's call it January 1st that you get the order. That means you're not going to ship it until February 15th to March 1st. That means you're not going to get paid until April 1st or May 1st. You got an order in January 1, and you're not going to get paid until April or May. Here's the kicker. What if your product sells good and they reorder along the way? That was my problem. The problem is when you have something like an energy drink, which is essentially like crack, and people just need it, right? They want to have more energy drinks. It's just like coffee. So people wanted to buy my energy drinks a lot. And so we sold through in 6 days. So I get a $5,400,000 order from Costco 6 days after they take delivery. If I told you the hell that I went through to find the first $1 million, so now I'm scrambling. We're publicly traded. I want to make sure to come through on this, but I'm still financing orders for all these other chain stores. And so many, out of 55,000, 6,000 to 8,000 stores on average were late or didn't pay. 15% would default on us. Or we'd have to chase them down, but it's hard to chase people down when they're in Omaha, Nebraska, or Milwaukee, and they only have 3 stores. To chase them down for $2,100 is tough, right? So then you have to start selling those orders off, selling it off to creditors, and it sounds so cool to say 55,000 stores and tens of millions of dollars in revenue, but it takes hard work. There's going to be bad stuff along the way, and you have to mentally prepare yourself, and by being in rooms like this, you're going to learn a lot from people, but then going on Google and actually researching the categories that you care about will help you prevent so many of the issues that I'm talking about today. Back in my days, 10 years ago, most of the things that you have access to didn't exist. You got Spotify, an iPad, Twitter, iPhone, blockchain, Stripe, YouTube, Lyft, Hulu, Uber, Bitcoin, Amazon Kindle, Instagram, Fitbit, Android, Square, Airbnb, Snapchat, Kickstarter, Pinterest. I can go on and on and on. Do you know that 10 years ago is like this? 10 years ago, the things that we think and take for granted just didn't exist. We didn't have an iPhone 11 years ago. You literally didn't have a smartphone. Could you imagine trying to get around now using a map? You have so many advantages. I feel old saying back in my day, but it's true. 10 years ago, we just didn't have it. Now, you have access to everything at your fingertips. Right now, you can use an app called Postmates, and a stranger will bring you food in less than an hour. Then you can, after you eat, you can get outside, and a stranger will show up and pick you up and put you into a car and drive you away, and you don't know their name. And you can drive to some random stranger's house and use an app called Airbnb and sleep in a stranger's house. Do you know what my mom would have done to me if I said I'm going to get in a stranger's car and sleep in a stranger's house? The point of the story is we have so much access, don't take it for granted. The smartphone in your pocket right now is so powerful. It's more powerful than any computer we had for the last ever. It used to cost $1 to $3 million to build a computer the size of that TV. Our smartphones are 200 times smarter than that thing. You have so much power inside of your pocket, and almost everything is free or very, very inexpensive, so utilize it. When you are using social media, when you are making your resumes, when you are making all your platforms that are out there that are all free, there's one very simple trick you can use. Your bio, basically your story, your resume, you can make very short and sweet, but it should be the same on every single social media platform. Your photo should be the same on every single social media platform. Because you don't know how people are going to find you. When they're searching for you on Google, let's say they're looking for an insurance agent or a real estate agent or a makeup artist or fitness trainer in the city. And they show up to the Bahamas and they want to find a real estate agent because they just love the town, right? You want to be the one that comes up, don't you? You want what's called top-of-mind awareness, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But because you don't know if they're going to find you on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn, and all these things that sound overwhelming, all you really need to do is place your photo, place your bio, and have the exact same photos up there so that when that moment comes and people are searching for you, they find you and don't find somebody else. Why does that matter? Because top-of-mind awareness is critical. Let's say Sebastian and I are at lunch tomorrow. And I say, hey, I need to hire a personal trainer. I'm moving to the Bahamas. I need a personal trainer. Who should I use? And he says, oh, there's this great girl. Casey loves fitness. She knows how to do personal training. You should hire her. And I start paying her $120 per session 3 times a week. When I'm saying her, I'm talking about you guys. You are that. For personal trainer, makeup artist, real estate agent, whatever category you're in, fixing cars, doesn't matter what it is. So let's say I hire her for $120 a session, three sessions a week. That's $360 a week. That's $1,440 a month. That's nearly $20,000 a year just because my friend Sebastian mentioned this personal trainer. It's almost $20,000 a year just because of top-of-mind awareness that Sebastian was thinking about this personal trainer. And then I said, I need a real estate agent. I want to buy a condo somewhere near Bahamar. And I buy a condo for $400,000. What's 3 to 6% of $400,000? $12,000 to $24,000 in commission. You see my point? I just asked my friend Sebastian, what real estate agent should I use? I think of you, and you make $12,000 to $24,000 just because of top-of-mind awareness. You see why it's so important now to just have people thinking about you? It's why it's critical to be a good personal brand. You are a personal brand whether you like it or not. People think about you as a great mother, a great real estate agent, a great business person, a great investor. Whatever industry you're in, people correlate that to you as a personal brand. The things that you do, the things that you impact them with, they think about that for you as a personal brand. That's why it's important to be good people. That's why it's important to follow through on your word. That's why it's important to be very, very open with your communication and always follow through. Because those things, not just because it's the right thing to do, that's the obvious part, but those things can lead to so much business for you just by following through on things that are normal and actually good. Does that make sense? A lot of people are going to preach to you about being good people to be good people, and I absolutely agree with that. But by you being good people, you inspire others to be good people. You make people want to work with you. You make people want to be around you. There's selfish reasons to be good. Sometimes it's hard to be good. It's hard to put in the extra work. It's hard to study an extra 3 hours. It's hard to mow 2 extra lawns to pay for those extra bills. It's hard to do a lot of those things, but the hard makes your life easier. The reason I still work so hard is because I want to help a lot of people around the world. The things that you can do just by putting in the extra effort will help make your life easier, and it'll help fuel you for when you want to do those. When it's hard for you to do those things, it'll fuel you when you start to realize how much it impacts your life. Going and doing the extra 2 hours of work here and there, going and putting in the time to travel, going in time to put in the time to learn, going and taking the steps and actions to make yourself better and to work extra hard will make your life easier, short-term and long-term. Quick thing on how to grow your social media followings. Because a lot of people ask, well, how do I do it? I only have 212 followers. There's 4 very simple things. One is collaborations. What that means is that in that example of Saturdays at 12 o'clock, if you and 3 of your friends are going to go work out, or you're going to go run on the beach, or you're going to go do some fun fitness things at basketball or tennis or whatever you could do, photo and film those scenarios, and all of you guys post it. What happens is you might only have 212 followers, your friend has 1,000 followers, and one of them has 10,000 followers. But all of them have proven that they like people in the fitness space. Same thing if 4 real estate friends go to dinner and then they post a picture together. If all four of us are in the real estate space, she's in real estate, she's in real estate, he's in real estate, and I'm in real estate, even if we only have 500 followers and 3,000 followers, it doesn't matter the numbers. The people that are following all of us have already proven to you that they like to follow people in the real estate space or the fitness space. Does that make sense? And by doing something as simple as you're already going to go to that dinner with your 4 friends. You're already going to go play basketball with your 3 friends. You're already going to do these things. It's now just being more thoughtful of taking a quick photo or video, and it's not to change the experience or take time away from it. Do you know how long it takes to take a photo? That's it. You know what's also interesting? Your friends want to take a photo with you. Right? Your friends want to take a photo with you. Your friends want to post things with you. Your coworkers want to post things with you. Your staff does. Your kids do. Your friends do. The people in this room do. It's just taking the step of not being scared to take that quick photo and getting past that nervousness or awkwardness. There's nothing nervous or awkward about it anymore. We're way past that. Let me remove that from you guys. It is not awkward to take a photo with people. It's just not. Back in the days, it was so weird at first, right? We didn't know how to broach the subject. It is completely normal. You can take a photo with your Uber driver, take a photo with your friends, you can take a photo with the valet guy. It doesn't matter anymore. It's just a normal thing. But by taking that step, by making it comfortable to do it, it'll start to become easier and easier. The next way to grow your social media following is provide value. Providing value is critical because that's how people are going to share your content. Instead of posting things for yourself, you post for other people. What do I mean by that? If you're scrolling through Instagram and you see somebody posting a picture of their salad, and you're like, well, I don't care about that, right? That means you don't post about your salads. Think about what you want to see on social media. What provides value to you, or what's interesting to you. You can't just post 22 selfies in a row. Nobody looks amazing 22 times in a row. So what you do is, the highest engaging content of all of social media is the human selfie, just from here to here. But they've proven that by breaking it up, it's called a pattern interruption. By breaking up the selfies and putting in a video of you talking about real estate, or a video of you talking about insurance, or a picture of you at an event like this, by adding in other things, it's called a pattern interruption. Now when you post that selfie, it's more compelling to people. And vice versa, when you post that video about insurance tips, or that video about real estate tips, it's more compelling to people as well. A pattern interruption is important. You can't just do the exact same content over and over and over, because we become numb to it. We're in a very ADD society. We're bombarded by over 3,500 logos per day. Let me say that again. You see on average 3,500 logos per day, and you don't even realize it. We're numb to it. So what that means is you can't do things that are repetitive. You have to do pattern interruptions and provide value for people so that they want to consume your content and share it with their friends. Next one's called keep your day job. So, do you know why almost 90% of restaurants fail? Because they run out of money. It's not because their food's not the best. It's not because they don't have a great location. It's that they just run out of money because they didn't have enough time to get into full swing. So what does that have to do with keep your day job? The reason I invest in companies, and one of the most critical things I look at, is the overhead. Because the overhead can crush you. My social media agency, we spend more than any other agency in the history of the world. I only have 14 employees there. My overhead's like this. I tripled the business from 20 million in ad spend last year to 60 million this year, and I hired one extra person. Why does that matter? Because so many people are seeing on social media all this flashy stuff and thinking that they have to keep up with the Joneses and spend more. I'm going to prove to you that I don't keep up with the Joneses. Ready? I haven't owned a car in 4 years. I don't need a flashy Lamborghini. I don't even have a Honda. I have no car. I don't need to show off on Instagram. I don't care. I just want to work. So I'm in the back of an Uber every single day. You don't have to increase your overhead just because you start making more money. That's not cool. You know what's cool? Saving some money. What's compelling is if you're paying $2,000 a month right now for your home, and you have kids in there, and you get a raise, instead of looking for the place that's $2,700 a month, staying in that $2,000 place. You know what the difference is of $700? Doesn't sound like a lot. It's $8,400 a year plus moving costs. It's almost $10,000. 10 grand, you're like, oh, I can survive that. What's 10 grand for the next 10 years? $100,000. But it's not just $100,000. It's 10 grand a year you could have used along the way to be investing into projects, investing into your lives, investing into your education, investing into other things. That 10 grand a year you could save by just keeping your overhead the same compounds to way more than 100,000 over the next 10 years. Keeping your day job can create so much extra value for you because in those moments of good and bad, when you've got that purchase order for your clothing brand and they ordered 20 grand from you and you need to come up with 10 grand and you're not going to be able to pay your staff for 2 months, you now have a cushion because you didn't quit your day job. If you're in the real estate space, the insurance space, and you only eat what you kill, meaning you're only making money from your core commissions, having income along the way. That's why you see in Hollywood, people are waiters trying to be actors. They have to have an income until they have that moment in time. The problem is most of them get that big acting gig, make 60 grand, and then quit their day job, and then after they don't have another acting gig for another year, they go broke. You know that 85% of NFL athletes go bankrupt within 5 years of retiring from the NFL? That hurts me deep in my soul. Some of the best NFL players of our time, one of the guys that broke every single rushing record used to live with me for 4 years. He's bankrupt. He made tens of millions of dollars a year, and he lives literally in a forest. Another NFL player lived with me for 2 years. He had the second biggest signing bonus in history. Gone. So that's why I'm emotional and passionate about people saving money and about investing their money so that never happens to you or anybody else. Because I've witnessed it firsthand. I've witnessed football players, basketball players, boxing athletes, people that made money along the way and they just had to keep leveling up and they had to keep up with the Joneses. They had to do these things for ego. They had to do all the things for everybody around them and not for themselves and their family and friends. And it was the demise of so many people that I've physically watched. Most times when people invest into startup companies, 8 out of 10 fail. I've done 32 investments and all 32 of them are still alive. The reason for that is, I'm there for the bad stuff. I refuse to let them go broke, and I've never had to put in a second round of funding once, because I nip it in the bud early. I talk to them about things like this early. If the CEO is taking an $8,000 a month salary, I explain to him why his or her apartment should only be $2 grand a month and not $4. I explain to them these things in advance of why this will make them a multimillionaire one day by just saving the money now. The people that come over to your house, they only come over once in a while. So whether you have a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, it's not about them, it's about your long-term life. What's one of my regrets? So I wrote this one, it's called Make Contracts with Everyone, Even Your Mom. So what I mean by that is, my mom helped me first start my company. You know, I was 17 years old, I was working 3 jobs. We had no money when I grew up. Family of 4, living off $24,000 a year combined annual income in Los Angeles. So I had to work. I was at the swap meet selling baseball cards and comic books. I was working at the stadium selling peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I was at Ruby's Diner with a sailor hat on, bussing tables. I didn't care. I would do anything. I was working 3 jobs simultaneously to save up money to start my first clothing company, Here's Your Daddy. But what I regret is a lot of situations that came up along the way. This is going to be very practical advice for you. So let's say you become an expert in a category. And people want to hire you for your advice, or utilize your connections, or partner with you on something. I'll give you a very basic example. Let's say you and I, we start a lemonade stand right in front of the Baha Mar. We open up a lemonade stand, and we're doing $400 a day in revenue, and we're ecstatic. We got $12,000 a month in revenue. Our overhead's only $3,600. We're making $8,400 a month net. It's fantastic, right? It's huge. And then you get a call. They want to fly you out to Harvard University for you to do a training session about lemonade stands. That sounds cool. They're going to pay you $3,000, pay for your trip. You go off to Harvard. You fly out there that weekend. They're like, you did such a good job training. We'd like to offer you a 2-year deal to train people on small businesses at Harvard University. We're going to pay you $200,000 a year. Are you ready? Yeah, right? So you leave me. You leave the Bahamas, and you're off to Boston. The next 2 years, you're teaching people about small businesses. I'm here in the Bahamas, and for the next 2 years, I open up 11 more lemonade stands. $3,600 a month in overhead, doing around 12 grand each, netting around $8,400 per lemonade stand. But now I got 11 more. We got 12 locations. Do we got 11 more locations, or do we got 11 more locations? See the confusion? You left me for 2 years, and I've been here in the Bahamas working day and night to open up 12 locations. So, what's the deal? Is it 50-50? Is it 10-90? Is it 0-100? I don't know. You don't know. You know why we don't know? Because we don't have a contract. The most basic communication is a contract. It's not meant to take advantage of people or some huge situation or like protect yourself. It's meant for communication. Because lawsuits are really ugly and only the lawyers win. It's very expensive. I've been in 13 lawsuits and I've never lost a single lawsuit. But all 13 times, my lawyer won at least $100,000. I've never once been repaid my legal fees. At every lawsuit that I won, in the contract says, if one of us wins, we get paid back our legal fees 13 times, and I'm 0 for 13 ever getting paid back. I have never once sued anybody, and I probably never will. Mostly because I don't want to go through the 2-year battle it normally takes for a lawsuit, and I don't want to keep spending $100,000 or $200,000 per lawsuit. Only the lawyers win in the situation. So, what does that mean for you? The contract is mostly for communication. If you have clarity, and we say, hey, I'm going to do what's called a scope of work. I'm going to be the business guy. I'm going to open up locations. I'll train staff. You be the front man. You be the face. You be the one to help with capital. You find the best lemonades in town. We have clear communication of what we both do. Then, if you go off and you're going to move to Boston, we can adjust the contract based on that. When you get offered this 2-year deal, we now know what to do instead of leaving what's called ambiguity. You're making it unclear. If it's unclear, a huge fight's going to happen. And you can prevent that by just making a very simple contract, and it can just be 1 page, but put very simple terms of what you're going to do, what they're going to do, and you can live happily ever after. The next one has 3 words on it. Just say no. What does that mean? If your friend says, will you help me move this Sunday? Can I borrow your truck? It is okay to say no. If your friend says, I need to call you, I just broke up with my 6th boyfriend in the last 3 months, and I need to cry on your shoulder for 2 hours, it's okay to say no. I am here to give you the power, and it's official, you guys are allowed to say no to people. By saying no to them, you're saying yes to yourself. People are going to try to drain you of your time, energy, money, and emotion. They've already proven to you that they're a repeat villain because they've broken up with 6 boyfriends in 3 months. So I know you want to talk to them for 2 hours and you feel bad that they're crying, but in 2 days from now, they're going to have a new boyfriend. It's going to be fine. 2 days. But you can't get those 2 hours back that you gave to them. You can't let people be a vampire and steal from you your money, time, energy. You cannot get your time back. It is the most valuable asset that we have that we can never replenish. Do you know what every billionaire and zillionaire and everybody in between says on their deathbed? They wish they had more time. How much would you pay to get another 10 years? Infinite. You hear about it all the time, but think about it in advance. If you know that one day you're going to be 79 years old and you're in the hospital, or you're 92 years old and you're not feeling well, instead of saying, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that, and you're having these regrets, just think about it now. Don't wait till then when people have already proven to you what can happen. Just say no. Next one's called Stop Being Fake Busy. Sorry, I'm going to call some people out here tonight. How many times have your friends said how busy they are, and they just went and got their hair did for 4 hours, and they just went to a meeting with their friend for 2 hours? Like, you're just not that busy. There's a lot of people out there. You know Mark Cuban is a billionaire, and he responds to everybody that emails him? I have no idea how he does it, but he does it. So if he's not that busy, you're not that busy. Fake busy can kill you. It can kill your business, it can kill your emotions, and it can kill your mental state because you think you're accomplishing a bunch of things with a lot of busy stuff. But there's a lot of busy stuff in your life that you shouldn't be doing. Let's say you make $40 an hour at your job, or you make $22 an hour at your job. If something costs $5 to $8, if you make $22 and something costs $5 to $8, you have to consider somebody doing that task for you if it can net you more income by having that time back. What do I mean by that? If it takes you 4 hours to mow your lawn, but during those same 4 hours, you can do X, Y, and Z, working on your side project, working on your business, working on your project, or something future for you, paying that $20 for somebody to mow the lawn, you have to consider that being a good option. I'm not saying go out and spend a bunch of money on things that you could be doing, but if you don't enjoy cleaning the pool, or you don't enjoy mowing the lawn, or you don't enjoy certain tasks, then there's a vice versa of it. Let's say you're the person that mows the lawn or cleans the pool, and you can make $40 or $20 or $30 to do those type of tasks. You also, on the flip side, should be the same one considering paying those $5, $10, $20 amounts. These numbers are just math. Does that make sense? If I say $5 and $40, the same thing could be $20 and $80. Just the math concept of if you're in a business or a job, or you're in the learning state for a business or a job that can make money that is more than the remedial tasks. I'm not saying stop cook for your family. I'm not saying stop taking away things that you enjoy doing and taking that time away. I'm not saying go hire a chef or do something crazy. I'm just saying that there's certain tasks in our life that we think about and that we do that takes away from our careers and our jobs, and it's a lot of busy work. Also, when you're in meetings, have a point. What do I mean by that? A lot of people go to a meeting to have a meeting about a meeting. Please don't do meetings about meetings. Do you know how many times I've been in a meeting on a Friday at 11 a.m.? We sit there for 2.5 hours, and then at the end of it, are like, okay, let's all come back here next Friday and discuss what we should do next steps. We're here right now. Like, we're here right now. Let's talk about this right now. Don't do anything tomorrow that you could do today. If you dedicate 2 hours a day to your side hustle or to your future career, the thing that you want to do, let's say day to day you're an accountant, but you really want to make necklaces or scarves. If you dedicate 2 hours a day, that's 730 extra hours in a year. You know what 730 divided by 24 is? It's around 30 extra days. By working 2 hours a day on your side hustle, your project, you literally made an extra month in a year by just focusing 2 hours a day on that. Do you think you could get up 1 hour earlier or go to bed 1 hour later or turn off Netflix for an hour and just focus? It sounds funny, but it's serious. If you spend 2 hours a day, you're going to get 700 hours of work on your scarf company or your jewelry company. Do you think you could accomplish a lot in 700 hours? I do. I think you can accomplish a whole lot. But a lot of times we become complacent and we want to watch Netflix for 6 hours. We want to watch Game of Thrones. We want to just sit there. But then we wonder why our necklace company or our scarf company isn't where it should be. It's not where it should be because you're not focusing on it and you're not putting that time and effort. And when I say putting time and effort, I'm talking about focused 2 hours. Not a fake busy 2 hours. Meaning your phone's upside down, or better off it's in another room, and you are focused on those scarves or that jewelry or whatever that project is that you like. 3 words on this one is adapt or die. What does that one mean? Who here has ever heard of Blockbuster Video? Do you know there used to be 4,288 Blockbuster Videos? You know that there's only one now? You've heard this story before, and there's a lot of people that joke about Blockbuster and Netflix. But if you really think about the fact that the owner of Netflix went and flew to Dallas, Texas, and met with Blockbuster and said, we'll do everything for you and put you on this thing called the internet. You don't have to do anything. You can own us or do a joint venture with us, and we will put you out into the world for free. It hurts my head. Because Netflix now does more revenue in a month than Blockbuster ever did in history. The reason I preach about going on social media, embedding yourself into the internet, and getting all these things set up is because it's critical for you to adapt or die. So I'm going to leave you with this last thing. It's a key word called omnipresent. Omnipresent means everywhere. You want to be everywhere. You want to be online, on social media, in real life, and events like this, like Own Talks, and make yourself the best version of yourself possible. Thank you, guys.